The Southern African Church Planting Initiative, SACPI, capacitates indigenous African leaders to establish sustainable, reproducing churches in rural areas of sub-Saharan Africa. This is accomplished through four converging streams: in-country partnerships with Director Isaac Soda, planting churches with Director John Mutandwa, resourcing economic development with Tendai Kashangura, and international partnerships with Director Matt Boyers. Step 1. Existing African Bible and Ministry training schools are vetted and approved by Bishop Isaac Soda.
I am passionate about accuracy in terms of doctrinal evangelism. There's been a lot of wrong gospels being preached in Africa and in Zimbabwe in particular, and so I'm so concerned that the gospel as it is expressed in the Word of God is the gospel that will be taught. So I want to see the training of church planters who will go out with the gospel, the evangelical sound gospel, to the needy world. That is where my heart is, and I hope that during my tenure here on earth, I will be able to capacitate young people and who will be able to go out into our world and preach the gospel.
Step 2. Vetted students from approved schools are trained in church planting and small business by SACPI directors. Step 3. Pastor John Mutandwa goes with planters to approved locations to plant and establish rural churches.
What I do in SACPI is to plant churches. How do I plant churches? I go to a place, I assess the place. After assessing the place, if the place is conducive for church planting, then I give my recommendations that we should go there and plant the church. After that, then I go with those selected church planters, like two church planters. Then we go there and do some witnessing, the door-to-door witnessing according to what I have researched, the model of evangelism we should do there. So most of our evangelism, we will be doing door-to-door evangelism, person-to-person evangelism, then we plant. Planting is like now we lay a seed. After laying the seed, then we leave it to the church planters whom we have trained before they start, so that they should go and disciple those people.
Step 4. A partnering pastor from the U.S. is personally involved with each church planter and resources them through consistently praying, encouraging, promoting, visiting, and communicating, while Director John Mutandwa simultaneously provides on-site church planter training.
But I'm excited about the Southern Africa Church Planting Initiative. For one, I love partnering with indigenous pastors around the world, and me as a pastor here, building a relationship with pastor or pastors in Africa, and having that back and forth and communication, and then growing that bond of love and affection and trust between pastors there and pastors here, and churches in Africa and churches here. I also love that there is an economic development piece alongside the church planting.
Step 5. In their third month, church planters submit a business plan for approval and are gifted business capital to start sustainable personal businesses through the U.S.-based ministry Rock Forward.
My heart is transforming lives and making sure people are removed from poverty. So I enjoy working with disadvantaged groups, helping them to have economic empowerment. Normally I work with the poor, the disabled, the orphans and the widows, helping them to start businesses, those with the existing small businesses, helping them to grow those businesses so that they are able to live a life that is pleasing to God. Also, one of the great things that we do is we also want to make sure, as we are empowering them to do business, we also teach them biblical principles in our business. So we do business training which focuses on doing business in God's way.
Step 6. Church planters identify and train a senior elder as an unpaid associate pastor who will then receive business training to start a sustainable personal business of his own in the village. Step 7. Over the span of 2 years, the church planter's business revenue grows and compensation is reduced until the planter is self-sustained. At the same time, the church members receive small business training and go through a similar process. Step 8. After 2 years, the pastor and his congregation are folded into an approved in-country denomination or network as a member church.
So these churches that are planted in the rural areas of Southern Africa as a part of the SACPI do not extend a Western brand at all. They are led by indigenous pastors and folded into an in-country denomination where they can be sustainable and long-term centers of the gospel. If you'd like to partner with us in any way in this amazing initiative, please go to our SACPI Facebook page. You'll see a list there of multiple ways you can partner, whether it's sponsoring a church plant or sponsoring a pastor in training, maybe an investment in that pastor starting a small business. All these opportunities are listed there. Thanks for listening and joining with us.
The SACPI, resourcing leaders to expand the rural church in Africa.